Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and today back with the full review of this, the Phoibos PY007. I unboxed it a week or so ago, all look pretty familiar having owned the no date. This one, the ceramic model though, has a few key upgrades. I've been wearing it for a week. Let's get into the full review, see how the movement performs, see whether it's worth the money over the no date. Okay then, the PY007, henceforth known as the ceramic model. So if you've seen any of my other reviews on Phoibos watches, this will all look pretty familiar. If you haven't, there's a number of videos in my library where I've looked at these watches. I looked at the quartz, then the no date, and then this one, the ceramic model. 2-year warranty on all of these Auto Phoiboses, which is great. Also a 30-day no quibble return policy. If you're not happy with the watch, you can send it back to Phoibos for a refund or a replacement. Great to see a new company doing that. I've had only a pleasurable experience dealing with Ethan and Emily, the two owners of Phoibos so far. Always very quick to respond to emails, always very pleasant when they do so. So here is the watch then. Let's do some basic dimensions before going into a more subjective analysis of this one. This is a Submariner clone, got the classic dimensions, 40mm diameter, 45 if you include the crown, 48mm lug to lug, 13.5mm thick, and 20mm lug width, tapering to 18 at the clasp. This one size for my 7-inch wrist comes in at a not inconsiderable 169 grams. I've also been wearing this one on and off on a rubber strap and a leather strap. That takes about 60 grams off the total weight, coming in at about 110. So sapphire crystal on that glass. I would imagine that it's also a little glass cyclops there. Apparently there's an anti-reflective undercoating on this crystal, but I can't say I've noticed it too much in operation. We've got C1 Superluminova on the indices and the rather attractive little Mercedes hands there. Bring it in closer there for a look at that dial. Now this is the first Phoibos that I've owned in green. My previous two have both been in blue, and I must say this green is pretty nice indeed. Great sunburst effect on the dial, and this ceramic bezel kind of looks flat on camera, has a couple of different tones to it, but does actually go quite nicely with the dial there in real life. These little hands, very nice. They've got a beveled edge to the middle, give them a bit of depth, bit of character to them, and also quite deep applied indices. I'll get a close-up of them a little later on. Signed crown with the Phoibos logo. 120 click unidirectional bezel, and the bezel action is very nice indeed. Very firm, very positive, and no play there whatsoever. Always really good to see. Now the bracelet features also 316L stainless steel throughout, including solid end links. Again, great at this price point, gives the bracelet a real feeling of solidity. Now it's just push pins there, it's not screw links. I think that's something that Phoibos are going to look at for future models, but in operation this one's fine. Now this one, if it looks a little bit beaten up, that's because this is actually the bracelet I was using on the no date. They're essentially the same watch. So rather than scuff up two bracelets, I've been moving them back and forth between the different watches. So what are the key differences then between this, the PY007 ceramic model, and the PY006 no date? Well, there are four main differences. The first involves the clasp. Now it looks similar, but it is slightly different to the no date model. Double action security clasp, but this time with a scissor mechanism, much nicer than the pressed steel. In the no date model, this one clicks in very positively, and then security lock there. 3 holes for micro adjustment, ensure a nice fit, and as usual it's got the laser etched Phoibos logo on the buckle itself and the security clasp. The next improvement is obviously the addition of date, cyclops, and window there at the 3 o'clock. Now I have previously criticised these Phoiboses for being a little bit bland. I think the inclusion of a cyclops at the 3 there and date window actually gives a little bit more character to the dial. Plus, if this is going to be your one and only watch, it does make sense to have a date. So I've certainly enjoyed that feature of this one. The next upgrade, and I'm afraid that's in inverted commas, is this ceramic bezel. Now, it looks pretty good, it's etched, it's got a nice quality feel to it, but I've got a problem with this one. It sits proud of the bezel itself, so the insert sticks up. It's got a sharp edge, not really what you'd expect from a luxury watch. I guess this isn't a luxury watch, but still it's disappointing at this price point. Now, I contacted Ethan and Emily. I did express my concerns about this bezel insert not fitting the bezel properly. They contacted their supplier, who got back to them very quickly. They in turn got back to me very quickly, who assured me that this was normal for a ceramic bezel. I'm not convinced. Bit of a miss for me, I'm afraid. If you're going to upgrade this thing to a ceramic bezel, then at least get one that fits the watch properly. And then finally, the major improvement between the no date and this is the movement. Now, this is a Miyota 9015 movement. This is a high beat, 28,800 beats per minute. That equates to 8 ticks per second, a much smoother sweep on that second hand there than on their no date model. This one, 42-hour power reserve, hacking and hand winding, and a stated accuracy of between -10 and +30. I started a watch check app on this the day I got it, and it's been running for a week now. I'll pop that up on screen just there. Fantastic results, really, really good. I've been wearing this watch every day. The one blip in the middle actually was when I took it off and I actually wore the no date out on a harbour hike around Sydney. But that is amazingly consistent there, some great figures. This is my first experience of this Miyota 9000 movement, but it won't be the last if they're all as good as this one. That's within cost parameters. And that is worn every day, so that's with a variety of different positions. Now, I do wear my watch when I sleep at night, so I guess that means the temperature has been pretty consistent over the period, but fantastic results from the movement there. That's clearly where a lot of the money has gone in the difference between the date and the no date, so in that case, it's definitely money well spent. Quick look at the case back. It's got that big shark that the no date had as well. Phoibos Automatic Divers 300 meters. And advertising that sapphire crystal. Nice polishing even on the case back. Some of these cheaper watches, you notice the finish is okay on the front, but it goes awry at the back, but not the Phoibos. Nicely done throughout. And we'll go in for a super close up on the dial to finish there. That green sunburst, really very attractive. I'll say it again, go for the green or the blue. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The black ones don't have the sunburst effect. Quite a lot more conservative. I think go for one of the brighter colours, it really pops. Nice depth to the applied indices there. Now I'll pop a lume shot up now. This was actually from the no date model. The lume is exactly the same, C1 Super Luminova. A little bit disappointing, nice colour, but it could be brighter. You were always hoping for a little bit brighter. So what do I think of the Phoibos ceramic then? Well, a great looking watch, love this green. Good set of specifications for the money, but at $280 it's getting up there. It's more expensive than the Bezel Marine Diver. I appreciate there's a waiting list for the Bezel though. That little scratchy bezel insert has somewhat taken the shine off it for me, but a very well made watch. Lots of specs for the money and superb accuracy from that Miyota movement. So there you have it, super accurate movement and an awful lot of watch for your money, but that scratchy bezel rather takes the shine off it for me. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.